Over the past decade, the Paper Mario series has been known to be very controversial, since the series has strayed a lot from its original style. First, with Super Paper Mario, that relied on real-time action and platforming, and even more with Sticker Star, which removed experience points along with original characters. Ever since, the series has never fully recovered from its original style, which has caused fans of the older games to be disappointed with the current state of the series. There have also been many fans who enjoy the new aspects of modern Paper Mario games, so this has caused a lot of division and conflict online with both sides of the fanbase. Places like Reddit, and especially Twitter, can be toxic with all of the arguments within the Paper Mario fanbase, and that is why it's considered very controversial. But I've been wondering, how controversial is the Paper Mario series? Is it really as divided as we thought? Or is that mostly exaggerated with the recent release of Origami King or the toxicity of Twitter? Well, last month, I created a poll that includes all 6 Paper Mario games, and for each game, people picked if they liked it, if it was their favorite or least favorite. I also included a couple extra questions about different aspects of the series such as story, gameplay, and partners, which will help determine the average reception of each game. First, before we get into the game specifically, we're going to take a look at some of the general views on the Paper Mario series. With the first few questions I asked, the first question was, which era of the Paper Mario series do you prefer? This included Classic, 64, 1000 Year Door, and Super, or Modern, which was Sticker Star, Color Splash, and Origami King, or both eras. Out of this poll, 60.7% chose Classic, 32.4% chose both eras, and only 6.8% chose Modern. These results show that generally, most people enjoyed the older Paper Mario games overall, but this doesn't show the specific game preferences, since many people have different preferences with specific games. The next question I asked was, are you content with the current direction of the Paper Mario series? And out of that, 50.2% voted yes, 49.8% voted no, which is almost equally split, which is interesting because over 200 people voted. Despite this question being relatively vague, it shows that the Paper Mario community is very split with how the series is currently being handled. With Origami King, while it's a very different game from the rest of the series, it did heavily improve upon the last 2 games, which might be why a lot of people, including some classic fans, were content with the current direction of the series. The final question in this section was, what aspect is the most important part of a Paper Mario game? In this question, 47.5% voted gameplay, and 26.5% voted story. These results are interesting, because the story and gameplay are the aspects that changed the most throughout the Paper Mario series, yet are the most important aspects of a Paper Mario game. Now we've gone through some of the major questions, let's look at the results of each Paper Mario game and see which one is considered the best and the worst. First, we have Paper Mario 64, and this happens to be the least controversial Paper Mario game compared to the others. With the systems people prefer to play them on, this was before it released on Nintendo Switch Online, 31.9% said Wii U, 26.9% said emulators, 23.1% said Nintendo 64, and 18.1% said Wii. Overall, 97.3% of people liked the game, 24.6% considered it their favorite game, and 2.7% considered it their least favorite game. Paper Mario 64 may not be the best game in the series for a lot of people, but almost all people with the exception of a couple like this game. This is likely due to the story and gameplay setting the groundwork for the rest of the series, and it doesn't have too many flaws. Looking at how much people like the story and gameplay, 96.2% like the battle system, and 92.2% like the story. With the chapters in the game, 20% voted for Chapter 3 as the best, and 31.5% voted for Chapter 6 as the worst. With the partners, 32.2% voted Lady Bo as their favorite partner, and 23.4% voted Sushi as their least favorite partner. Overall, we can see that this game does not have any controversy surrounding it, while being enjoyed by most people who have played it. The next game we'll look at is Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, and even though many people consider this to be the pinnacle of the series, it does have a bit of controversy surrounding it. With the systems people prefer to play them on, 42% said the GameCube, 37.4% said emulators, and 20.7% said Wii. This game has a higher percentage of people using emulation because Nintendo hasn't provided a way to play this game on any modern system. Overall, 94.8% liked the game, 54% considered it their favorite game in the series, and 1.1% considered it their least favorite game. It's no surprise that this game received a lot of praise, but with that praise and popularity comes resistance. Many fans of the series have used the Thousand Year Door as a golden standard to judge every game in the Paper Mario series that was released after it. As a result of this, some fans started to consider the flaws of the game and judge the game based on the community. I'm not saying that this is the case in the poll, that's just a reason why this game is sometimes considered controversial. Despite that, the Thousand Year Door is still enjoyed by many people, as over half the people who played it considered their favorite game in the series. 95.5% considered the battle system to be good, and the story, so almost all people enjoyed the core aspects of this game. With the chapters, 37.6% voted Chapter 3 as their favorite, and 30.6% voted Chapter 2 as their least favorite. Of the partners, 38.8% voted Vivian Best Girl as their favorite partner, and 42.7% votes Flurry as their least favorite. Also, with Flurry, literally only one person out of 170 responses voted for her as their favorite partner, so yeah, statistically almost no one likes Madame Flurry, literally the worst partner voted in the entire poll. As we get into the next game, Super Paper Mario, things will definitely start to get more controversial. With the systems, 79.2% said Wii, 12.6% said emulators, and 8.2% said Wii U. Overall, 90.7% liked the game, 27.6% considered it their favorite game, and 9.2% considered it their least favorite game. While Super Paper Mario changed the gameplay elements drastically, it still kept the core elements, such as engaging story and RPG mechanics. The story especially is what people liked about this game, since it scored significantly higher than the gameplay. Also, I thought it would be a good time to bring up that one interesting thing about the story in Super Paper Mario with how it was received. So over a decade ago, a survey was conducted on Club Nintendo, and Kensuke Tanabe stated in an Iwata Asks that not even 1% of people found the story in Super Paper Mario to be interesting. Well, it's been quite a few years, and on my survey, 94% of people like the story in Super Paper Mario. And it's interesting, because that's a lot more than less than 1%. So Tanabe, do you really think the fans don't want a story in a Paper Mario game? So 77% of the people like the gameplay in Super Paper Mario. While that is still a lot, it's still significantly lower than how Paper Mario 64 and the Thousand Year Door scored. With the chapters, 28.8% voted Chapter 3 as their favorite, and 23% voted Chapter 3 as their least favorite. With the pixels, 41.5% voted Tippy as their favorite, and Fleep and Piccolo were tied at 19.7% as their least favorite. Overall, while Super Paper Mario changed some of the aspects of the Paper Mario series, it was still well received, and its story is seen as one of the best in the series. Oh boy, now it's time for Sticker Star, which is, well, let's just say it completely reset the series. With the systems, 91.9% said 3DS, and 8.1% said emulators. Overall, only 31.7% liked the game, 6% considered it their favorite game, and 73.7% considered it their least favorite game. This is a sharp contrast from the previous three games, and it makes sense why so many people disliked this game. It removed an interesting story, along with the creative and original characters, which is reflected in the poll, since only 19.1% voted that they liked the story in Sticker Star. The gameplay in Sticker Star is also seen to be unpopular, at only 20% voted that they liked it. Rather than having an in-depth battle system and intuitive puzzles, it had an extremely clunky and simplified battle system, along with cryptic and unfair puzzles. With the puzzles, basically, you had to get these thing stickers and place them in very specific areas with absolutely no indication of where they should be placed. With the partners in the game, oh wait, I can't say that now. There are no partners outside of Kirsty, which is another reason why it's considered one of the worst, and worse than previous games. With the chapters, 40.7 voted Chapter 4 as their favorite, and 28.6 voted Chapter 2 as their least favorite. Chapter 2 makes a lot of sense for being people's least favorite because there are many cryptic puzzles, and it's actually where I gave up in Sticker Star. Overall, Sticker Star is generally unpopular, and many people tend to dislike it due to its drastic change that it made to the series. Next up is Paper Mario Color Splash, and things did get a little better, but it was really only a step in the right direction, and is still significantly unpopular compared to the other games in the series. With the systems, 89.1% said Wii U, and 10.9% said emulators. Overall, 65% liked the game, 9.4% considered it their favorite game, and 15.9% considered it their least favorite game. Overall, the reception is slightly better than Sticker Star, but it still wasn't received that well. Color Splash suffered from many of the same issues that Sticker Star had, but it did improve some things. Color Splash has been the cause of a lot of controversy in the Paper Mario series, and while the fanbase originally was split with Sticker Star, Color Splash split it even more. While it heavily resembled Sticker Star and had many of its flaws, the overall presentation and polish were much better than Sticker Star, while also having interesting dialogue, which was reflected with 49.3% of people liking the story. This is likely why a lot of people enjoyed the game, but for others it didn't really sit well with them. It still suffered from the thing problem that Sticker Star had, while also having another clunky battle system, which was reflected with only 27.6% of people liking the battle system. This game is the most controversial Paper Mario game by quite a large margin, and has created a lot of contrast in the Paper Mario fanbase. The contrast between the fanbase created the two separate sides, which one side was coined classic fans, and the other side was coined modern fans. But the chapters, they're kind of loose and unstructured, so that's why I decided to omit them for this game. Overall, while Paper Mario Color Splash improved many aspects from Sticker Star, it still led to the current divide between the fans of the series. Finally, we have the most recent entry in the Paper Mario series, Paper Mario the Origami King, which is considered significantly better than both Sticker Star and Color Splash. With the systems people prefer to play them on, 98.1% said Nintendo Switch, and 1.9% said emulators. Overall, 86.1% liked the game, 29.1% considered it their favorite game, and 6.7% considered it their least favorite game. Origami King fixed and improved many of the flaws and bad design that plagued the previous two games, which is why it was received better. It brought back the interconnected world, removed disposable attacks, and added more original characters, brought partners back to some degree, and even had more interesting worlds. While Origami King didn't return to the classic formula, many people considered it good on its own right. Despite improving many of these problems from the previous two games, it still did receive a lot of controversy. Despite having interesting characters, there weren't enough unique ones compared to the first three games, but the story did improve significantly, which is reflected by the 85.3% of people liking the story. The gameplay was also controversial, as the battle system was not very complex and the puzzles were repetitive, which is likely why only 58.5% of the people liked the battle system. With the chapters, 38.2% voted Chapter 2 as their favorite, and 33.3% voted Chapter 1 as their least favorite. With the partners, 53.1% voted Bobby as their favorite, and 36.2% voted Captain T-Ode as their least favorite. I'm sorry, Captain T-Ode. Overall, significantly more people liked Origami King than the previous two games, but it still has a lot of controversy surrounding it. So now that we've taken a look at all of the games in the Paper Mario series, let's determine the best and worst Paper Mario games. So considering the people who've played the game, The Thousand Year Door is by far the most voted as people's favorite game in the series at 54%. Looking at what is considered the worst Paper Mario game, 73.7% of people who played Sticker Star consider it their least favorite game in the series. Paper Mario 64 is the least controversial game in the series, with 97.3% saying that they like the game, and Color Splash is the most controversial game, with 65% saying that they like the game. These results show that there's a drastic difference in how each game in the Paper Mario series is received. The first two games are consistently seen as two of the best. Super is still considered to be very good. Sticker Star is consistently seen as the worst. Color Splash is considered controversial, and Origami King is considered to be very good. This poll definitely proved that the opinions on the Paper Mario series drastically differ, but most people generally prefer the older style. It also showed that Origami King is generally seen as an improvement by most people, despite being controversial. And I would just like to say at the end of the video here that most of these things that I've said in the video mostly reflect the poll and not really my own opinions, though some of my opinions align with some of these, like The Thousand Year Door being my favorite game and Sticker Star being my least favorite game. So anyways, what did you think of the results of this poll and everything? Were you surprised, or did you expect a lot of these? So anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Twitter if you want to. Goodbye.